Welcome guys back to my channel. Today I'm going to be introducing to you what I call the pentatonic box breakers. And basically what this is it's going to be a series of pentatonic exercises and kind of licks and things like that I'm going to teach you guys to help you start to break out of the boxes, right? Everybody's got stuck at some point with these pentatonic scales where they just feel like all they do is ascend and descend the scale and everything they play kind of sounds the same, sounds like they're practicing scales, that kind of thing. And basically this series is going to be designed to help you to start visualizing this pentatonic scale as one giant scale across the neck. And it's going to take some time, but trust me, it's going to be a lot of fun. And every time that I release one of these videos, I think it's just going to expand your knowledge of the scale so much more. So even if I start right now and I go over this exercise that I'm going to do today, and you might go, oh, I already know that one. Stick with me. The videos that are going to be coming out in the future, I guarantee maybe you haven't done some of these in the future, but what I want to do is I want to have a nice progression of how someone can start working on the pentatonic scale and just start getting through all these shapes. It's sort of methodically, right? What I want to tell you guys to do also is, if you didn't see the last video that I put out on the pentatonic scale, which was like kind of my introductory video, I want you to go back and watch that video. I released it a few weeks ago. I'll put a link in the description below so you can see it. And I think it's really important that you understand how I'm approaching the scale, the way that I think about it with the relative major, minor, why it works, all that kind of stuff. It's in that first video. Anyway, let's dig into this. What we're going to do today is look at the pentatonic scale horizontally across the fretboard. So instead of looking at it vertically, right, up and down, all the scale shapes, most people learn them going straight up and down, right? And they go all through all 5 shapes up and down, and then they get stuck where that, when they try to improvise, that's kind of all they can do. So one of the first ways that I teach students how to start breaking out of the scale is to start visualizing the scale horizontally across the neck, meaning we're going to go this way, and we are going to use string pairs to do this. So we're going to use 3 sets. We're going to use strings B and E, the top 2, strings G and D, the middle 2, and then strings E and A. And essentially what's going to happen is we're going to start from the minor pentatonic scale, mode 1. So that classic scale everybody knows. Everybody knows that scale. You may know the scale really good up and down, but now trying to visualize it horizontally, it might be kind of challenging to do this. So we're going to have to take this one piece at a time. I'm going to give you guys a PDF from the website. You can go download it for free. I'm not charging nothing. The only thing I ask you guys to do is like and subscribe my video, because this channel is just starting. The way it's going to look is like this. And then we're going to go in reverse. And you can even go all the way back down to mode 5, right? So what happens is you got mode 1, top 2 strings, mode 2, top 2 strings, mode 3, top 2, mode 4, top 2, and mode 5, top 2. And then you're back to mode 1. And then you do that in reverse. Now, one thing I want to point out when I do this is we are going to do alternate picking through this exercise. So it's always going to be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, whether you're ascending or descending the scale. And with my left hand, I'm going to use just 2 fingers. I'm going to use finger 1 and finger 3 for all the positions that I go through. I find when students mix it up and they go like finger 1, 4, then 2, 4, then 1, 3, like it creates this inconsistency, and they end up having these hiccups when they're trying to fluently go fast with this. And I find if you just get it down to 2 fingers, it might feel weird at first, you can start to develop this really fluent sort of flow. You always know what fingers you're using, and then you just work on the synchronization between the left and the right hand. So it would look like this if I just use fingers 1 and 3, and this is how I do it too, by the way. It's just like Now if I go really fast, check it out. there's no like hiccups there because I'm not switching fingers. I'm just always using fingers 1 and 3. Now what may be challenging at first is like you have this stretch, right? So like from 5 to 8, that might feel weird at first. But what you can do is with these ones, you can sort of just stay in that one spot. Sometimes when I have students memorizing this, I'll tell them like repeat the same position 2 or 3 times, you know, go. Then switch. And you can do it in little bite-sized chunks. So you can do like the first shape and then the second shape and then kind of mend them together and then add the third shape and then add the fourth shape and then the fifth one, right? So I go 1, then add shape 3, back, right? And what this does too is when you start improvising, it sounds cool too because you could like just loop sections. You don't always have to go all the way up and down. Set 2 is going to be strings D and G. Again, we're starting on that mode 1, right? So now we're on strings D and G. It's going to look like this. So now I'll just give you guys like a little breakdown of this. So on the D and G strings, first we have mode 1, then we're gonna have mode 2, mode 3, mode 4, mode 5, and then we're back to mode 1. And then we would just do it in reverse, right? And all the way down to mode 5 if we want to. And now if I play that a little bit faster, it would be like... And that would be going through strings D and G, and I'm doing the exact same thing I did on the high strings. Alternate picking everything, 2 fingers, fingers 1 and 3. I'm telling you, this is gonna feel a little weird at first, but you gotta change some stuff. When you start doing these kind of exercises, you can't always stick to what you did on the original like vertical exercises. So since we're moving horizontally, there's a different sort of like ergonomics that's happening there that you need to adjust to. And that's why I'm going to suggest you use fingers 1 and 3. Now if we move down to the E and A strings, it's going to look like this. And again, starting from mode 1, then mode 2, mode 3, mode 4, mode 5, and then back to mode 1, and then reverse. I always kind of tend to bring it back to mode 5 because mode 5 wraps behind mode 1. So I mentioned this in my last pentatonic video, but I'm going to say it again because it's really worth mentioning again. You need to build speed on these exercises in order for fluency to happen. So if you just learn the scale and you learn it at a slow pace, it's really not going to stick to your brain. You have to build the exercise using eighth notes. Primarily, you're going to start out using eighth notes and you're going to build it all the way to 160 beats per minute. This creates a fluency in the scale where you can't really think about the patterns anymore. You just start doing it. and you're not really thinking, where do I have to go? Your fingers just start going at that point. So you really want to build this exercise up to that. And the important thing about building speed with scales and exercises like this is that this should not be a forever exercise. This shouldn't be an exercise you work on for the next 20 years to get it. Like, you want to focus on this really early on, and you just want to hit it and grind away at it every single day. So if it takes you a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long it takes you, but not years, okay? Not years. You want to take those couple of months, grind it, get done with it, and then move on to the next exercise. That's how you progress quickly with this stuff. If you keep playing the same thing for 20 years, okay, then you're going to be like most of these guys that I meet, that they come in, they're still doing the same thing because they've never actually trained the exercise. So that's all I'm going to say on that. You want to build fluency with this, work on it with a metronome, build it up to speed. Now I'm just going to run through all the sets, but at 160 beats per minute, so you can hear the final target speed. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright guys, that's it for today's lesson. I want to thank you for watching. I hope this exercise helps you see the pentatonic scale in a new way. I also want to remind you guys that I sell guitar flashcards on Amazon. They're called the Fretboard Memorization Deck, and they will help you with memorizing the notes on the fretboard, chord formulas, scale formulas, interval shapes, all kinds of music theory stuff. But also, if you have the cards and you're interested in the course, check out tuningguitarcourses.com, and there's a course that covers all the content of the flashcards if you're learning the theory and memorizing all that kind of stuff. So anyway, thank you guys. God bless you.